Hey guys, welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. Thanks for all the well wishes. Feeling a lot better today. Let's get into it. BTC closed green on the day. Unfortunately, this green closed that wasn't enough to have a bullish engulfing candle, which would have been great. But so far, no dice. Kind of similar to this move back over here. Friday was red. Did you notice this, by the way? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was kind of green, but not enough. Really similar, except we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the obvious elephant in the room is that we have a CME candle here. Unfortunately, I cannot wait for this to go 24/7 trading, for this just to be basically nothing to worry about, nothing to be concerned about. It's so annoying. But we have a high here of 111,630. So as long as BTC doesn't exceed 111,630, which is an increase of 1.7%, which it probably will, then we're okay. But the way things are going, we might have another CME gap on on Monday. Hopefully we don't. Now, we need to talk about a couple of things because BTC closed the monthly candle. Now, on the monthly chart, we do have a confirmed second TBT Bearish Divergence signal. This essentially has smack dab hit the top every single time. Back over here in May 2013, December 2013, January 2018, May 2021, November 2021. Now this one is the only one that was off. But now we have two of these back to back, basically. It's not a good sign. Monthly RSI has been on a steady decline ever since, well, really ever since here on March 1st, 2024. Even though the price of Bitcoin was a lot lower then, we're seeing strength lose, and it's losing big time. Looking at volume, last month's volume was good. It was the first month that we've seen exceed the moving average, just like it did back over here in November 2024 or here in March 2024, which means that October is most likely a short-term high or the high. Now, there's still a chance, and I do expect BTC to go up to 150K, but it doesn't necessarily have to do it. If we look at these 2025 fibs from this recent pullback over here, it gives us a 140 target, which is reasonable. If we were to do the same thing with the most recent pullback, it gives us a 143 target. But of course, the 2022 fibs, these are the ones that are the most long-standing and given us the good targets of 103,000, which we've hit, then 173, which was my original target. Of course, that's not very likely. 2018, we've seen it struggle to push above the 124 level. So we're right in the sweet spot, unfortunately, of this being a market top and October 6th being the market top. Now, if it's not, then we have, in my opinion, a couple of weeks left for BTC to really show itself and its strength. Now, I do think that it's possible. Anything is possible in crypto. And I am paying attention to these short-term trend lines. If we can see BTC push above this level and push up and out of this range, that would be great. It'll be a lot to ask a BTC to get up to $150,000, but I think that makes sense. The market is really ranging right now, and we've seen some extremes to both sides, up and down. The next pierce or the next test in either direction will probably tell us which way it's going. So if we have another test down here at about 107,000, then it's much more likely to break to the downside, do something like this, and go lower, and then that's that. But time frame wise, and at least my expectations are for BTC to go up above and do something like this. I still think that we're going to be heading up to 150K, even though a lot of you are depressed and aren't expecting it. That's just what I'm seeing. Ethereum, of course, it did not do as well yesterday. Nothing really did. Actually, there are a couple that did, though, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Only closed up 1%. We're still looking at this target up here, which is around $4,300 as a target. On the weekly time frame, there are actually no bearish symbols to pay attention to in terms of the TBO or TBT Divergence. Same thing with the monthly. So there's nothing like what Bitcoin is showing, but that doesn't mean that things are okay. If we look at weekly RSI, it's been on a clear downtrend ever since July. If we go to the monthly, It's also been on a very big downtrend. It peaked over here in gasp April 2021. We had another high here in March 2024. Then the next high was August, and here it is. Now, it's not terrible, but again, it's putting in lower highs, which is something to be concerned about. In terms of volume, it's actually still okay on the monthly time frame. Believe it or not, it doesn't feel like it is, but volume has been increasing steadily ever since November of 2024, for better, for worse. But volume increasing is a good sign. Now, there's been a lot of volatility between November 2024 and basically now, 2025, a year later. And we know that on the weekly time frame, there are lots and lots of things that are happening that are much clearer, like this historical TBO resistance between a level of 3686 and $4,000. So Ethereum struggling to push up above $5,000 isn't really that big of a surprise to me. It's been a level to watch for a long time. Will it have its time in the sun? Maybe. It really just depends on BTC and how it's going to behave. But I think if Bitcoin can push to 150, then we could see Ethereum go up here to $6,000. Yep, we have all these other gaps to watch out for here. So we're most likely going to see new CME gaps for Ethereum and Solana over the weekend. Personally, that's what I'm expecting. The good news, even though we didn't get a bullish engulfing candle for Bitcoin yesterday, we did see a red close for stablecoin dominance. Now, we don't have any bearish reversal symbols like a TBO close long, a blue diamond, or TBT bearish divergences yet on the 4-hour time frame, which would give us a little bit more confidence to expect a downtrend. The other not so great thing to point out is that the slow line on the 4-hour, even though it's just the 4-hour, it is pointing up, which means that the macro trend is bullish, which means that we should be prepared for more downside price action. On the daily time frame, the slow line is kind of sort of moving up, but it's also kind of flat. There is no real strong trend, and personally, I expect it to go back down. We're just seeing a lot of this oscillating movement right now. We've clearly hit a peak up here on Thursday, so now it makes more sense to see it come down, which should equate to a rally for crypto and for alts. The total ES.D chart, which is essentially the inverse of our stablecoin dominance chart, is showing a similar thing. We came down here to a pivot low. We did have a strong, unfortunately, TBT Bearish Divergence over here on Wednesday, which confirmed a pullback, which we definitely saw. No bullish reversal signals, which would be a TBO close short, the inverse of a close long, or TBT Bullish Divergences on the 4-hour. Nothing yet. But if things continue to bounce off of this level, then we're okay. Now, the one thing that's different on this chart is that the slow line here is bearish. It is pointing down. On the weekly time frame, there are no scary signs like TBT Bearish Divergence or closed longs or anything like that on the monthly or on the weekly. But again, same thing as I said for BTC, there are clear signs that there's a real lack of strength for total ES on the weekly in terms of RSI, and also over here on monthly RSI. It's not looking that hot. In terms of the close for this month that just finished up, actually volume is really good for, sorry, this is the total ES.D. I got sidetracked. I thought we were looking at this chart. Now we're looking at this chart. Spoke too soon. All right, let me go back to the weekly, talk about a couple of things first. Oh, man, of course. All right, so looking over here, sorry, at the total ES chart, which is not the dominance chart. This is the market cap chart. The slow line is pointing up. It's very overextended. Yes. Dang it. Dang. That's too bad. You're like, what is it, man? Tell me. Well, we already know on the weekly time frame, we got one of these yellow flags. This is TBT Bearish Divergence cluster. Just like we saw back over here, I want to remind you that even though we saw these clusters, we did see the price, or rather the market cap, increase by 50%. Even though there's a really big downtrend, we did see it increase by another 40%. I still think something like that is possible, but this is a very clear top signal, in my opinion. And unfortunately, on the monthly, guess what we got? We got a bearish confirmation signal of a market top for October right there, just like we saw back over here in December 2021. Note it was a month after we topped. Before that, we don't have anything else because it's just total ES. It doesn't go back all the way like the total chart does. Yep, basically no different. Isn't this fun? We also know that monthly RSI has been falling down. Monthly volume's been looking great. It is increasing, but man, oh man, is this a really bad symbol to see on the monthly time frame. And I also want to remind you guys, if you're new and you're like, dude, why are you so bearish? I don't think you guys have been a new subscriber. Or sorry, I think you're a new subscriber, you're not an old subscriber, because this has been the plan all along. I've been expecting the market to top out around the middle of November. It's happening sooner than expected. But honestly, in the club, there was a lot of information that I shared with people intentionally, giving lots of different options and ideas of where we could be topping out. I want to just give you two options. One thing is the market bottom, market low to new all-time high. Here we go. Which is a really easy thing to measure from over here to over here, 152 bars, 152 bars, 152 bars, which miraculously, 152 bars already happened back over here this week on the 20th. So there are lots of different metrics that I've been sharing in terms of all-time high to all-time high, halving dates, support resistance, long-term, like there's a lot of different things I've been watching and updating people on in the club. It's just you guys on YouTube don't get the full scoop. It's just how it works. But I'm not surprised about what's happening. I've been preparing people in the Better Traders Club for the bear market to come, and I still think it is coming. Even if Bitcoin is going to get another push up higher, please don't get caught up in the trap. And you will also not see a lot of those metrics on CoinGlass, the bull market top indicators. Those won't flash. Maybe a third of them will flash. Maybe. That's being generous, but I don't think many of them will at all, because this time is just different. That's why. Now, that's enough bearish stuff. Let's talk about some bullish things. I know it's like, how do you pivot from that to this? Well, the total 3 ES BTC chart, which represents the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, is giving us a second TBT Bullish Divergence signal on the daily. This is good, because the last time we got something like this was back over here in June. And then what we saw was a bullish divergence cluster in early July, and we saw alts rally against BTC in the short term. Now, this still adds up and it lines up to my expectations for alts to do well the next month or so. I think that alts will mostly top out by December 19th. So this is actually a good confirmation signal for me in that this is meeting my expectations. On the weekly, I'm not seeing any such bullish momentum or moves or signals, but this is good enough for me on the daily time frame to expect some bullish reversal signals. We've already seen how well this worked on the 4-hour time frame. So if you think the 4-hour time frame works well, then you should be excited about the daily time frame, because this is the one signal that we want to be seeing. We want to be seeing that coins are going to be outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum, which we are starting to already see, right? Now, reality check time. In my live stream with Dan on CoinBR Trading last night or yesterday afternoon, we talked about the risk of the dollar index, the Dixie. This isn't crypto, but this affects crypto very much so. The things you have to know about this chart right now are in regard to the TBO, and this is plenty. Whenever the price is above this cloud, it is a strong bullish trend. Even if the slow line, which is the slowest moving average, is still not pointing up. This is bad. It's bad for stocks. It's bad for crypto. On the weekly time frame, it is very much inside of the cloud. We're seeing a real big push, a start of a push that could be very disastrous for stocks and also for crypto and Bitcoin. So please hear me out. I do believe we are very much near the end. Like, we might see another drop back down, which will coincide with another rally. Maybe we'll see something like this where it goes up here to 100 or so, and then it falls back down. But this is not a good sign. Please hear me loud and clear. I do expect the dollar index to go up, which means that we should see crypto fall down a lot lower. The reality is that I learned how to trade crypto in a bear market. 2018 is the year where I finally put the pieces together to understand how to trade this crazy Wild West market. And I put everything I learned in the 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom course. This is the course I talk about in every single video because it's awesome. I teach you how to reduce your time in front of the screen on your phone, on your computer to just 15 minutes a day max. You get actionable strategies, whether it's free signals, the TBT signals, or it's with the TBO or AB trading. You also get one-on-one coaching sessions. You don't lose access to the course, and you don't have course. You don't lose access to the course, and you don't have to pay for updates ever. No one's doing this at all for this price. It's insane. Plus, it comes with a 1-month trial to the Better Traders Club, which includes a ton of stuff. Some of it I shared a little bit before. There are also links down below to sign up for Femex and also for BUI DeFi. Check out these two exchanges to get some crazy bonuses for signing up. So I'm going to get into it and continue. I'm going to go back over here to TradingView. So we're going to be looking at my picks first, but if you have coins that you're wanting me to check out, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to consider it. No promises, no guarantees. Okay. So I'm going to get into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video, all that fun stuff. Let's go. Tau, BitTensor, printed a TBO breakout yesterday on a 16% move. It's also above. Why is this line here? I think it's from this level right here. It's above these levels of resistance, which is significant. On the weekly, it's in process of closing an open long on the weekly. We've been talking about Tau for quite a while, ever since it had this crazy move up. Not only has it had a really nice TBO springboard bounce going up to resistance, it looks like it has enough energy to keep pushing up higher. It will not go up to the right in a straight line, but it's a great chart to keep in mind because it is looking extremely bullish, whereas everything else looks very much the opposite, right? Focus on charts like these that are trending up. M, which is meme core, on the 4-hour time frame has some valid TBO breakouts still. Trump, TBO breakouts are still valid. Even with the pullback that we saw on Friday, it's going back up. Arrow, TBO breakout above overhead resistance. It closed above resistance, and we're working on the second candle above. I still expect this chart to go up here to 150 or so. Helium continues to push up higher, and on the 4-hour time frame, we have a TBO breakout printed yesterday, which is awesome. Now, that's what all these, by the way, these blue flags right here are not talking about. They represent TBO breakouts, which again is part of the training breakout indicator, which is available in the club. Okay. Now, these orange flags are pointing out TBO close shorts, which are bullish reversal signals. All right. So this one right here, the orange diamond. So H bar has not come back to touch the fast line yet, which would give us an entry, but we know that it's moving its way up to overhead resistance. A break above this would be awesome. And the next target to look for H bar is going to be up here, 47% higher at about 30 cents. Bonk, this one has been suffering for quite a while. It got rejected here when it lost support, and it's fallen back down to TBO support several times. It bounced off it yesterday, not a bullish engulfing candle, but it bounced. But on the 4-hour time frame, another TBO closed short. Trust Wallet, TBO closed short on the 4-hour, and Zebek Network, 2 more TBO closed shorts. Now, to be fair, Zebek has had lots of these and no real huge push yet. A lot of charts are still really struggling. Now, these green flags are denoting some bullish price action or TBT bullish divergences. And believe it or not, XRP, which I can't believe, has a second TBT bullish divergence here. Again, I'm thinking about this a lot right now. Seeing a second TBT bullish divergence for this chart is a big deal. So XRP could have another leg up. I personally am not expecting XRP to do that because I believe that XRP is very much done. We already got a warning sign back over here in March of this year, January and March, 2 TBT bearish divergences. Yes, it went up higher, but we also have a TBO close long on the weekly, which isn't good. It's inside of the cloud, which is a sign of bearish consolidation. So if it gets another push up higher, maybe it'll push up here 30% to 333, but I don't think it's going to go that much higher. Monero XMR on the daily time frame, great return back to the fast line after being rejected at resistance. This is a TBO springboard bounce, by the way, 12%. And guess what? We just got another one, and now we're looking for our short-term target up here at 346. Zcash put in a new all-time high yesterday. I made a video about this coin and why I believe it's pumping. You guys can feel free to disagree with my findings or my personal opinion, but Zcash, the way that you use and interact with this network is you have to buy the coins. And if you're trying to find ways to keep your coins in your portfolio private, Zcash is the coin to do it with. Similar story with Monero XMR, just so you know. Aave, This one has printed a second TBT Bullish Divergence. Ethereum Cash, TBT Bullish Divergence on the daily time frame. That's a big surprise. XDC, we actually have a bullish engulfing candle here. Now, I am really not confident saying this is a bullish engulfing candle because it's just XDC. It's not Bitcoin. Anything below Bitcoin, I really stay away from Japanese candlestick patterns, but it is what it is. BDX continues to push up higher. It actually wicked above the cloud. Even though this one has been rough for holding, the reality is that the slow line continues to push up, which is telling us that the macro trend is up. It's bullish. So we should be expecting BDX to continue moving its way up higher. Dash is actually up 6% today. Retraced back to the fast line on Thursday, and it's already back for a completed TBO springboard bounce for 25%. That's nuts. Zen, this one's also moving up higher. Retest back over here, and it moved up yesterday, 35% currently. That's insane. Now for some bearish news, Koi, Chain Opera. This one is very much oversold. Now, the reality is that because it lost support here, there is a massive fair value gap all the way down here. So I personally think that it's risky getting excited about Chain Opera AI because it has a massive gap. And I'll just be nice and we'll put it up here to 45 cents. But that means that the price could fall, or rather, if it's going to fill this gap, we should say it that way, another 72%. Note, when it started to look bearish, I told you guys, okay, it could bounce off here. And then I told you, if there are TBO breakdowns, you might want to be careful with this because it's a very bearish signal. Since these signals, even though it went up 26%, it's now down 51, 52%. Don't fade the TBO, guys. SPX 6900 put in a second TBO breakdown on the 4-hour, on the daily, a second on the daily. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Not a good sign. I don't want to see this one dump a lot farther just because I love the community and I have respect for Murad, who's been trying his hardest to pump it, but it's a really bad signal. Zora, on the 4-hour time frame, TBO breakdown cluster yesterday, that isn't good either. It's a really bearish sign, so be careful. Bitcoin Cash also has a TBO close long on the 4-hour time frame. It should do well if Bitcoin does well, just like we saw over the weekend. When Bitcoin did well over the weekend, Bitcoin Cash pumped, what, 10%. Just so you know, Solana is still okay, but it is like danger zone. It pierced support. It opened below it. It closed above, but it's literally on the line. It has to push up higher. Solana dominance still looks good, but I hate the fact that Solana dominance is basically sold. So we should see Solana dominance increase, but Solana's looking real bad. If it closes, I told you guys yesterday, if it closes below this line, then I would just rule Solana out, like done. Like if the market rallies, it could, but it has to do something today. It has to do it, or else it's cooked. Plasma XPL, again, it's teasing this level that it's been respecting for such a long time. Once it breaks above, I expect Plasma to be able to push up a lot higher. It'll be a surprise move. All right, now into some requests, but I just remembered and realized that I'm drinking out of this glass. No, don't worry. This is not like a huge glass. It's not white beer. It's just water, but I like drinking out of a huge mug just because it's fun. So it's okay. It's only, what, 10:20 in the morning, guys. Relax. All right, so on to the requests. Filecoin. Yes, this one's very bearish. Ever since the 10th, the mood and the vibe has totally shifted. Filecoin also lost massive support down here after things just got worse and worse. It can go lower, just so you know. Don't for a minute think, oh, it's bottomed out. I've already made this case and expressed this so many times before in other videos on other channels too, even on my own. Just because a coin's falling does not make it a good buy at all. Ondo. Oh, and I will say this. If you decided to buy in here at support and it fell against you and you have some extra funds, you'll want to be looking for a TBL close short or some sort of bullish reset. Like we already had it over here on RSI. And as soon as it gets back up to your entry, I would cut the rope. If it's me, I would cut the rope for sure. Ondo had a TBT Bullish Divergence on Sunday last week, but it struggled the rest of the week. It's at support. It's a great token I love real world asset tokens in companies. I think it's a great working product. Unfortunately, the market doesn't seem to care about it. That's what it's telling me. Near is dangerous, at dangerous levels here at support that have been in play over here since the listing low to this mid-cycle low in October. So this level right here. Okay, that's this one right here. That's a scary level. Now this one is based off of this low here. And we already pierced it, which is not good. We pierced it on the 10. And now we're back down to it again. This is not a good spot to be. In order for Near to survive, it needs to pump 46% at least to get away from this level. Because if it breaks this, it's done. Honke is done. I don't care how funny the meme is or how beloved it is by children around the world. It's done. Notice how no one's talking about Mudang anymore? It's done. Memes are done. Fetch AI, not a meme. This one had a nice bounce, to be honest. I was really surprised. But are we seeing any bullish reversal signs in the 4-hour? Not a one. So far, it's still looking extremely bearish. On the weekly, it's extremely oversold. When RSI in the weekly is below 25, interpret this as being exceptionally strong bearish. As in, there's probably either it's gonna just bottom out, cool, or it's just gonna keep dipping lower and lower, which I believe it's gonna be the opposite. It'll just keep going. And it can go lower. Fetch, its all-time low is down here at 0.007. Not say it's gonna happen today, but yeah. Floki, it's just a meme, doesn't really do much. We had that nice push on Monday because of Elon. He hasn't talked about Floki since. I still think that Floki has a chance if Elon's gonna talk about it again. But this has been a long time since that last one. He really needs to do it again. Toshi, again, another meme. This is the only one that looks strong from all of the ones that I've been watching. Mainly because the slow line's pointing up, but it's starting to flatten out. It's starting to show signs of weakness on the weekly, on all-balanced volume, on normal volume. On the daily, it's inside the cloud. This is a dangerous chart to be in right now. Even if we get a nice rally up here, I would, right now your mentality should be exit. How can I exit out of my positions? That's my mentality. That it's been this way ever since we started this year. 2 years ago, that was my mentality for this time of year. So no, I'm not all of a sudden turning bearish. I've been expecting a bear market to start Q4 2025 for 2 years. So nothing's different. Never even heard of this coin, HEU. Had a great move on Thursday, the 23rd, 200 whatever percent. That's nuts. Decent bounce yesterday, but I mean, this is just what happens with low caps. Look at the 30-day moving average for volume, $75,000. So all it takes is a couple of whales to pump the price, shoot it up higher. There we go. Now, does that mean it's the bottom? Actually, that's a pretty good bottom call right there. See how it fell down here? It's not bad. And it went right up here into TBO resistance. Honestly, I feel like that's one and done. The next place I'd be looking for support would be here, which lines up with TBO support right there. Avalanche, just bearish, strong bearish below the cloud on the daily. On the weekly, it's strong bearish. It's in danger of breaking below the 236. There is support here at 1626 where it could bounce, but just again, identify your exits now. It's like you're on the plane and you guys all forget when the plane is going to crash. And sorry for all of you that are watching this on a plane, but the flight attendants already showed you where the exits are. You don't want to be scrambling on the plane when the plane's going down and you need to get out. Wait, where are the exits again? You have to be aware. You have to plan it in advance. ADA, this one, no bullish signs on the daily, on the weekly, on the 4-hour. It actually has a TBO breakdown. Just a single one, but that's not good. Aster, once Aster finds its bottom, which I don't know how low it's going to go, I think then it will be a coin that could do well. We do have a slightly lower high on RSI, which is good from Thursday's close, but we don't have any bullish reversal signs on the daily, on the 4-hour, none at all. So it's still strong bearish, strong bearish. But I think that Aster could have a nice reversal. Quantum, this one on the weekly, strong bearish, daily is strong bearish, 4-hour. We've had some good bullish reversal signals, like TBT Bullish Divergence, closed shorts. Unfortunately, the trend is still down and it's still bearish, even with a recent close short. So it's difficult. If it loses this support level, the problem is that the 10th was so disastrous and we already know where charts are going to go, in my opinion. I already have a good idea where a lot of these charts are headed next, and you do too. You just don't want to accept the truth. Charts don't lie, man. So again, BTC, it really does need to hold in this range. I have a feeling that it's going to push up a lot higher over the weekend. We'll have another CME Gap. But ultimately, I do think that this is our month to exit. That's my opinion. That's what I'm planning on doing. I'm exiting the market, 90% of my holdings. That's my plan. It's been the plan for a while. And then I'll just be trading with a little bit just for fun, either A/B trading or using bots, not so much on the TBT signal side, but the better crypto signals, which are awesome, which I'm going to share a video for right here to help you guys understand what I'm talking about. There's a huge difference because they were designed for a bear market, but I'll be here. I'll still be here and I'll be here. And tomorrow's video is a good one. You don't want to miss that one. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.